Welcome to Storytime. In this series, I share my experience within a church that was really a cult, practicing witchcraft on its members for a long time. In the last episode, The Grey, I shared the method by which certain practices were introduced to the whole. We were drawn in by the intensity of study, prayer, and fasting, the training for ministry, and the level of fellowship we developed with one another. We were kept there with messages of forsaking all and obedience to God and the elders. The lessons were carefully crafted over time, layer by layer, to first draw us in and gain our trust, until Lucius's lifestyle of having multiple wives could be introduced to the whole and accepted as biblically sound. Everyone wasn't introduced at the same time. Some were invited from their very beginning. Some found out by accident or rumor, while others figured it out. Some yet believed, innocently, that there was some unknown spiritual connection between Lucius and those he chose to keep around him. Eventually, his lifestyle would become somewhat common knowledge and accepted. I say somewhat because at first, no one really knew the extent of his reach. The brothers found out when they tried to court his sister. But imagine, as a sister, being initiated into his circle and finding out after the fact that you are one of many more than you care to be. Imagine rarely or never being called again, and not being free to pursue anyone else, just being part of his collection, not knowing your status, just hoping to be chosen. For years. For some, the focus shifted from God to currying favor from Lucius. Over time, you saw the shift in how the brothers perceived and treated the sisters as well. I know there was a point where people began to gradually disappear. We were told they didn't have faith to receive his lifestyle, but I'm not entirely sure about that. It seemed to happen in waves. Most of the brothers I've spoken to since leaving will tell you, flat out, they didn't have a problem with him having more than one wife. They had a problem with him not leaving anything for anyone else and not allowing them to find their own. Even if a brother presented a woman from outside the group as a potential, the elders would often shoot it down and find reasons why she wasn't a good match. He exercised a control that kept them eunuchs while he had multiples. At study, you could sense tension between Lucius and some of the brothers, and sometimes he'd talk about the older alpha line having to challenge and defeat the younger lines to protect what was his. It sounded more National Geographic than biblical to me, so I let it go in one ear and out the other. There'd always been competitions, preaching, teaching, football, but they were starting to become a little personal and unfriendly. Sometimes the competitions looked like an attempt to catch someone off guard and not at their best, so it could be shown that they weren't all that. Sometimes shade would be thrown on someone's win because they weren't the desired or favored victor. But romance night would begin to open my eyes as to how far the competition would go. Like and subscribe for more story time.